Spring is in the air. And in St. Paul, that means important hockey games. First, it's the Minnesota Wild in a matinee with the Wings, followed by a Big Ten clash where the conference crowns its first tournament champion. March Madness, Minnesota style, is next. The last team the Wild face this season is the Detroit Red Wings. They will face them on consecutive days this afternoon in St. Paul, tomorrow night in Detroit. And the Wild and Wings meeting this late in the year is a little bit of an intriguing point. We'll talk more on that a bit later. First, our Northland Ford starting goaltender.
No, he's won 3 of his last 4. Jimmy Howard has faced a barrage of sorts, having to have a lot of young guys ahead of him in the lineup playing in front of him, but he's done a fairly decent job. Kemper, of course, gets back in, had a couple game break there as Brizgalov got a shutout and then got the next start. But you remember that Darcy Kemper's first NHL win came against these Detroit Red Wings. Hopefully he can find a little bit of that magic here. The Wild, including this afternoon, only 2 home games in their next 7. So you got to take advantage of your home games, and the Wild are trying to pull some more points out of these games.
Koivu against David Legwand on the opening faceoff. After a delay, it's not sure why the delay, but still waiting for the puck drop here in St. Paul between these two clubs. The Red Wings on the outside looking in the Eastern Conference. Minnesota starts play tonight as the top wild card team in the West. Now we're underway.
Well, that first puck very sharply put towards our Kevin Gord.
Mikko Koivu plays it in for Minnesota. Kevin Gord between the benches here at Xcel Energy Center today. We'll hear more from him as the game progresses. Let's check in with him right now. Kevin, the underlying theme of the day, let's watch for pucks and sticks, huh?
No doubt. Got warmed up there early on the opening drop of the puck. And, obviously, energy is going to be a big factor. Wes Walz talked about at the end of the pregame show. Different start time at 1 o'clock, different body clock for these guys. We'll see which team gets the early jump as far as forecheck and energy goes. I think that could play a big part with who wins, because this looks like a game, guys, like a lot of games lately, where the lead's going to matter. It's going to have that playoff feel because both these teams are so desperate for points.
Another delay on the face-off drop here, and Mikko Koivu stands back and waits for an explanation. Now he's removed from the dot.
The great thing is he could chirp at the linesman and finish, and he probably won't understand them.
I think you'd get the hint. Ryan Suter plays it up the boards. Fontaine able to tip it ahead. Fontaine, Molson, and Koivu on the forward line for Minnesota. The puck comes back into the Red Wing zone, or is played across by Smith. Brendan Smith takes the return pass and starts through neutral ice. Avoids Parise into the Minnesota zone. Poked away by Pominville. A shot from a sharp angle, knocked down by Kemper. And the puck goes to the boards. Pominville stops there, did not get it out of the Wild zone. Parise will. Zach Parise sidesteps one man into the Detroit zone. Parise knocked off the puck. Smith lost his stick in the process. He goes hard into the boards in the corner. Red Wings gain the puck. And is whipped across by Bertuzzi. Now at center ice, Drew Miller into the Minnesota zone. Miller slides to the corner. Glendening is hit there. Granlund got it ahead to Pominville. Pominville could not clear the zone, and the puck's back behind the Minnesota goal. Loose lines up on the stick of Miller, who plays it out to the point. Intercepted on the way by Parise. Zach Parise to Pominville and then Granlund into the Detroit zone. Granlund to the outside. Cuts in on goal. And it's kicked out by Howard. Pominville didn't get all of it on the rebound try. And a pad save by Jimmy Howard in the Detroit goal.
Well, Granlund coming in with a 2-game goal-scoring streak, and that could have easily been 3 with a nice move getting to the net. I love the way he's starting to drive to the net a lot more now. And seeing some lanes and taking advantage of them.
New look line here for Minnesota. Danny Heatley and Erik Haula on the wings with Charlie Coyle in the middle. Puck in the Detroit zone. Kindle plays it ahead. Nyquist relays it in. Suter sends it around for Spurgeon. Spurgeon plays ahead. Brodziak comes to center for Minnesota to Matt Cook. Cook flings one toward the goal, and it's pushed aside by Howard and out of play.
Well, our Kevin Gorg downstairs is going to get a good look at that man right there. Zach Parisian right through the middle of the ice. Watch the heads-up play here with a good stick, working the puck down into the zone. And you can carry that puck if you want, as long as you're making moves like that and getting the puck deep. But Zach Parisian has been such a big factor on that line, and that line continues to be together for that reason. Pominville with a 7-game point streak. And as I mentioned, Granlund with a 2-game goal-scoring streak. Parisi could have had 2 goals last game in his return to New Jersey. He missed a shorthanded breakaway and also had a goal changed on him. As he mentioned, it didn't touch him in front of the net, and it was given to Suter, but just playing exceptional nevertheless.
Brodziak battling in the corner. Puck controlled by the wings. Helm tried to center. Brodziak takes it away and pushed it out to neutral ice. Lino Niederreiter with Cook and Brodziak on Minnesota's 4th line here tonight. Wild change as the Red Wings regroup. Kronwall sets up behind the net. Out of the head for Legwand. Into the Minnesota zone. Quincy's tied up at the blue line. Manages to force the puck down low. Alfredsson in the corner. Threw it to Franzen. His shot was blocked out to the point. Now Franzen has it back. Plays up high for Kronwall. Long shot was blocked on the way. Franzen again sends it into the corner. Red Wings top line. Franzen, Legwand, and Alfredsson. Franzen escapes. Threw it out front for Alfredsson just behind him. And the Wild start back. Fontaine to Koivu, who floats one into the corner. Koivu trying to work around Kronwall. Not sure why that wasn't an interference call against Kronwall. And Koivu winds up dumping him along the end wall.
Well, he had his stick up under his arm, and then he went in with the shoulder and face into the end wall, and that obviously is a dangerous way to go in. And I don't see any shove from Koivu, but it was definitely kind of an awkward fall by another Detroit Red Wing. It looks like he's shaken up. Oh yeah, he is. Boy, is he out on his feet. And Koivu coming in, working, gets a stick in, and he gets leaned on. He gets leaned on by Kronwall. Kronwall kind of goes into the boards under his own energy. Watch him pushing and pushing, and finally, after he comes off of Koivu, when he comes off of Koivu, he has enough momentum that he goes in face and shoulder first. Just an awkward fall into the boards and just a continued barrage of players. Kevin, I'm not sure what kind of angle you had from that, but it seemed kind of like he was pushing off of Koivu.
He was pushing off of Koivu, trying to get some leverage against the big forward as they went to the wall, and you saw the replay. It speaks for itself. He had to be helped off the ice, and now Mike Babcock already talking to his team about not getting stirred up or shaken by one of their top players again going down. And this team is just decimated by injuries. This can't help.
Red Wings come to center. Lost it at the Minnesota line. Brodin's pass off target at neutral ice. And the Wings send it right back in. It deflects into the netting and out of play.
And as that play developed, it almost looked like an interference type play because he was taking Koivu's ice away as Koivu tried to get around him. Koivu did have a stick in under his arm briefly, and then Kronwall locked him down, pushed off of him, and went down awkwardly into the end wall. And we hope that Kronwall's okay. Never want to see a player go in like that. And as you mentioned, Kevin, the decimation of this lineup has been continuous.
Minnesota Twins preparing for opening day. Today, exhibition baseball against the Yankees. You can see it right now on Fox Sports North Plus. For a complete listing of where you can find Fox Sports North Plus, check out foxsportsnorth.com. Twins are 9 days away from their season opener in Chicago. Miller able to push the puck into the Minnesota zone. Granlund back to pick it up for the Wild. Granlund battling there with Glendening along the end boards. Suter taps it ahead. Parise whips to Pominville now into the Detroit zone. Pominville sent it just wide. Spurgeon recovers in the corner. Plays to the point. Back to Spurgeon for a redirect. Howard got a pad on that one. Granlund waits, then fires. A lot of traffic out front as Parise was wiped out. It's going to be an interference call against the Red Wings, and Minnesota goes on the power play.
Detroit 27 interference.
Kyle Quincy with a very physical play in front, but not before he had to face some speed from this Wild lineup. Pominville taking a feed all the way in. He just makes a little move. He just wants to get Howard moving and slide it to the open side. Spurgeon also getting an opportunity, and then the feed comes back to the point for Granlund for a shot, and Quincy just unloading on Zach Parise, who was positioned in front of the net for the screen.
Wild on the power play. Pominville and Suter at the points. Pominville works his way down low. Back to Koivu. Koivu across for Suter. Suter works his way into the circle. Centered. It was tipped, but bobbled. And the Red Wings are able to clear.
Kevin Gorg talked about getting a good start. This is as good as any.
And you've got Detroit guys down to 4D net right now with the injury and a man in the box, so zone time will matter.
Koivu scores!
Release by Koivu, and the power play gets the Wild on the board quickly here. Beautiful little tic-tac-toe passing play, and just a quick release by Koivu. Molson just drops it. Suter follows up, and the quick release is what fools Howard. Howard has to make an adjustment from the post and then out, and also from the post on over. He was not able to do both, and Koivu took advantage of that open side on the glove.
Brodin shoves it in for Minnesota. Red Wings clear. Molson and Suter assist on the Koivu goal.
A $200 value has been donated to Minnesota Hockey from West Bend.
9th of the year for the Minnesota captain. Franzen wheels and fires. It's knocked down by Kemper. He covers, and we get a whistle. A power play goal by the captain, Mikko Koivu. And the Wild on top 1-0.
Gets a power play goal. Minnesota has an early 1-0 lead on the Red Wings. On the back end, Darcy Kemper is back in goal. After back-to-back starts for Ilya Bryzgalov, and Kemper's been outstanding in this building. I had a conversation with goaltending coach Bob Mason on the last road trip about a little adversity and what they're looking for from this youngster who's just 23 years old. And they said it was good to see Bryzgalov play back-to-back games. It's going to be important to see how Darcy Kemper responds to missing back-to-back games for the first time since Bryzgalov was added. They think this kid's got a great attitude. He's just hungry to play, guys, hungry to prove he can be the guy to take them not only down the stretch, but into the playoffs. And today is one of those measuring stick games for Darcy Kemper.
Kemper just 1, 2, and 2 over his last 5 with a 2.34 goals against. Back in the nets at home where the Wild are 7-0-3 in their last 10 starts. Charlie Coyle bearing down toward the net, shoved one on goal. A heavy hit behind the goal. Coyle trying to become more physical. That was one of the things Mike Yeo asked of him this week. And now he absorbs a hit from Quincy, who threw an extra jab while Coyle was down.
Well, Coyle's hit was right into the chest. Quincy kind of spun him around as it got really physical.
Now a stick to the face of Nate Prosser.
We'll see if that's called. It was likely inadvertent. Oh no, it wasn't inadvertent. My goodness, he looked like he was. It was a chop to the head area. Let's take a look at the physical play that started all of this. Big hit here by Coyle, and then Quincy responds. Quincy probably was waiting for a whistle and a penalty, but watch this spin around play. Oh, you just catch it, but he comes around and chops him in the chin with the stick.
Now what they've called, Mike, is a roughing call against Prosser and then the high stick, which these are the kind of calls that I've never understood. There was not going to be a penalty on Prosser until he was hit in the face, and then the official decides to call one both ways.
Yeah, you know, and that's the terminology is even up call. It's garbage. There's no way that should be an even up call. If anything, and even though there's no blood drawn, it doesn't mean that you have to draw blood to give a guy a double minor. That was an intentional high stick. Should be a double minor for high sticking and then give Prosser a minor for roughing. But it's a ridiculous even up call.
So it's 4 aside. This play in the Detroit zone. Smith comes back.
Especially when you consider what Prosser had to go through last game for protecting himself. A 5 in a game.
Smith plays it in. But there was no contact between Prosser and Tatar after the high stick. So by definition, the roughing had to have occurred before the high stick, and if it had, there would have been a penalty signaled already.
Yeah, we'll have a better look at what Prosser faced here, and watch the stick. Like, he chops him in the face with it. And yeah, he may have been sorry right away, but where's the rough? I'm not sure where Prosser's roughing. And Kevin, you saw Mike Yeo, and he still seems very, at least he was animated about 10 seconds ago. Was he pretty angry with that call?
Nobody's happy down here. To my left, the Wild coaches are furious with that last call. To my right, the Red Wings believe the Wild are taking liberties against their players. They're still upset about the Kronwall play. I don't think they had the advantage of the replay, guys. Bottom line is there's a lot of bitterness down here. We'll see if this thing continues to simmer or even boil.
Yeah, and I'm sure in mind that we have 5.5 periods left between these two teams in the next 30 or 35 hours.
Yeah, and the other thing I think they're a little bit angry at is the Quincy exchange there with Coyle. He likely felt that Coyle deserved something, although it looked like a clean hit. Quincy came back with some physical play of his own. So this could be what this game's going to look like.
Legwand plays it across. Onside. Kemper steers to the end boards, and Brodin starts back for Minnesota. Parisi plays it back to Scandella, and now Parisi at center. Spins away from a check. Slides it across for Brodin. Brodin to Scandella. 4-on-4 hockey. Puck comes into the Detroit zone. Scandella delivers a hit. Loose to Brodin. A shot and a save by Howard. And we get a whistle.
Well, the blue line is getting involved. We talked about that in both our pregame show and our open this evening, or this afternoon, I should say. And it's good to see the Wild using their defense. Spurgeon with a deflection in the slot earlier. Brodin just got a good shot there. And of course, Suter's the one who on the power play stepped down to the hash marks and fed Mikko Koivu for the goal. Kevin, you're going to have to keep your eyes peeled there. It looks like the Wild defensemen are very active in this game.
And that's a good thing too, Mike, especially when you're playing a goaltender like Jimmy Howard, who can be elite in this league. But if there's a weak point to Jimmy Howard's game, being a butterfly goalie, is he will kick rebounds back into the slot. If your defensemen are active and getting good low shots down on a butterfly goaltender, your forwards know there will be some great second and third looks around the blue paint.
And if you've got a butterfly goalie, if you can get a puck back to the point really quick for a quick shot, you're going to get a lot of goals because the goaltender won't have telescoped back out yet.
Molson centers, and it's tipped just wide by Coyle. Smith circles back in his own zone. Wild have had some great chances early. Koivu has a power play goal, and they lead the Red Wings 1-0. 4 aside for another 11 seconds.
Wild, when they're using their D, they're not just winding up for shots on goal. They're trying to find guys for small tip-ins, small deflections in front of the net. Watch as pucks come in. In this case, it came from one of his wingers as he's fed it to the front of the net. But keep an eye on guys like that when the puck goes to the point, because there's a lot of opportunity here in front of the net.
Puck bounces out through neutral ice. Smith starts up for the Red Wings. Puck is deflected in. Tatar and Prosser are back, so it's now 5 aside. Poked out to neutral ice. DeKeyser has it there for Detroit. Across to Smith. And Smith sends Danny DeKeyser out of his zone. Ahead to neutral ice. Tipped in by Glendening. Stoner back to pick it up for Minnesota. Brodziak carries to center. Fires it into the corner. Matt Cook in on the forecheck. Kindle's the first man there for Detroit. Joachim Kindle spins away from a check. His pass off the mark, and the Wild turn it back in. Now Miller comes to center ice. Stoner back to retrieve for the Wild. Lino Niederreiter pushes it off the boards and ahead for Haula. Haula tries to work around a check in the Detroit zone, but he's ridden out by Smith in the corner. Into the Minnesota zone. Puck is played back out to neutral. Haula couldn't catch up with it. Charlie Coyle racing after it. Smith is back for Detroit. Cross ice pass. On target. Alfredsson sends it over the top of the goal. Danny Heatley scoops it up along the wall. Heatley for Suter at center. Suter's pass out of the reach of Coyle and into the Detroit zone. Red Wings gain control and Quincy plays it ahead. Alfredsson tried to tap it at center. Caught in the feet of Helm. Winds up in the Minnesota zone. And we're going to get a penalty here. Suter broke his stick on a slash. Kemper has to make one save, then another. And as he finds the puck, we get the whistle and the slashing call. Power play coming with Minnesota on top 1-0. But now Detroit puts the extra man. Red Wings trailing the Wild 1-0. Detroit trying to make it 23 consecutive trips to the postseason. Started way back in 1991 when they reached the playoffs. And you can see where they rank in the NHL in those categories 6 that time. Not coincidentally, the next year they had a rookie named Nicholas Lidstrom on their team that led them into the postseason. And throughout that stretch, no team reached the finals more often or won more cups. This one goes off the post, and on the rebound they score. Flicked into the empty net by Smith on the rebound, and the Red Wings have tied it on a power play goal just 8 seconds into a man advantage.
Well, when pucks go off bodies and posts, players turn and try and find it, but what happens often, and on a power play especially, because defensively you'll have set yourself up into a box, when the rebounds come off of people and posts, they typically go off towards the sidewall where the power play is setting up. And that's why it went right to one of the Detroit Red Wing players, and Smith backhands it in on the open side there as Darcy Kemper also was trying to look for it. That's a theory of coaches that you shoot to break teams down. And the theory behind that is when you get pucks at the net, when the rebounds come off of people and objects, they're going to go to the perimeter where most of your players are, and you keep shooting, you're going to keep getting the puck back, and they got it back on that one.
Smith, whose alma mater, the University of Wisconsin, will play for the Big Ten Hockey Championship here later tonight, as the goal for the Red Wings to tie the game at 1. Legwand and Kindle credited with assists. Centering pass intercepted by Koivu. Fontaine able to poke it out to neutral ice. Smith settles a bouncing puck. Power play goal for each team here in the opening period in St. Paul. Pominville dumps it into the Detroit zone. Quincy across to Smith.
Kevin, you had a little one-on-one there with Todd Bertuzzi.
Yeah, Minnesota's favorite opposition, and he climbed right up on the dasher to try to avoid coming on the ice, but could not get to the door, so actually just sat on that perch right here in between the benches for a couple of seconds. And he's a player to watch, too, if those tempers start to rise up. And we see some of that physical play, and he certainly has taken note of some of the early hits by Minnesota on the forecheck. And guys, right now, Detroit certainly galvanized by that power play goal. They've got some great energy to my right on the bench.
And if Kevin needs to, he'll throw down the headset and get after Bertuzzi.
Don't you worry.
Right.
He's sneaky tough, that Kevin Gorge.
Drop those line charts and let her rip, Kevin.
Good luck.
Red Wings come to center ice. Legwand in to pick it up. He and Suter collide against the end boards. Alfredsson to Franzen. Franzen tries to walk out front. Granlund just lifted his stick. And Parise sends it in for Minnesota. Granlund had his centering pass deflect off a shin pad and up into the netting. So a faceoff will come in the Detroit zone.
Let's show you right here where in between the benches, see Bertuzzi get up on the boards, and I mean, Kevin, I got hit with a stick. John Worley, the assistant medical trainer last game, got hit with a puck. What are you going to get hit with?
Well, if I say a word to him, probably a fist, and I don't want that to be the trifecta.
Yeah, things come in threes there, Kevin. You know that, right?
I know. I'm ready today, though, boys. I've been ducking pucks all my life. I'll be just fine.
Red Wings have it in their own zone. Helm slides it back to Kaiser, watched by Coyle. Ferraro at center ice. Spun around by Haula, and the puck deflects out of play. This season's Saturday baseball comes to Fox Sports 1. It all starts on April the 5th when the Twins take on the Cleveland Indians. Fox Sports 1 is your home for baseball every Saturday.
Well, Mike Yeo cautioned yesterday that even though this lineup is decimated with injuries, not to take them lightly. They've done a good job in their system. Ken Holland, the GM of the Detroit Red Wings, and his staff have put together a lot of talented players that have spent some time in the minors and seasoned themselves. And when they get their opportunity to get called up, you know that they're going to do everything they can to stay in the lineup, much like we talked about guys like Fontaine and Haula.
Stoner leaves it. Heatley spins away from a hit in the corner. Banks it ahead, and it's out of the reach of Charlie Coyle and back to the Detroit line. Flip down low. Stoner's back to pick it up for Minnesota. Centering pass tipped by Kemper and winds up back out to neutral ice. Ronwall back on the ice for Detroit. Would have bet against that after watching him go down in the corner. Head first into the boards.
Going to be curious to see how physical he is now the rest of the way, because he's out there and he can move the puck. But the question mark is, was he in a situation where he hurt his shoulder, or was it more a pinched nerve or something, or just shaken up?
Based on how wobbly he looked when he got to his feet, his return seemed improbable. Scandella in the corner for Minnesota. Pushed it ahead for Niederreiter. Niederreiter to Brodin. Brodin races through the neutral zone and drives one in for Minnesota. And the Karam somehow deflects off the glass and into the netting. It's been a physical start. A power play goal for each side. Wild and Red Wings tied at 1.
Well, there's been some ill tempers here this afternoon. Maybe just because they're not used to playing at this time of day. A kind of a rough ride there for Kronwall as he bounces off of Koivu. Coyle got into it with Quincy. Chopped to the face for Prosser. And just guys finishing their checks any chance they can. And Kevin, do you think it might just be because normally this is their nap time?
I don't think so. I do think when you get the calendar as late as we are with the way the season's shaping up, both these teams with so much to play for, knowing it's back-to-back, I like what Anthony said. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch the next 5 periods plus, because it's clear that it's got that playoff feel down here.
I still think it's because normally they're napping at this time.
Remember that this is a stretch of the Wild schedule. Mike mentioned the road-heavy portion. 8 out of 10 here for Minnesota on the road, but Minnesota also facing a number of teams desperate in the playoff hunt. We saw it in New Jersey. We'll see it again when the Wild hit the road to go to Detroit tomorrow. See it with Vancouver here at Phoenix. All these teams on the playoff bubble.
And there's even a lack of separation at the top. I mean, there's teams still want to try and catch St. Louis. There's teams in the Pacific like Anaheim and San Jose who are still battling for the top spot out there. So the battle isn't just for the 7th, 8th. It's for the top couple spots as well.
Smith in the corner to Franzen. Long shot deflected wide. Rebound controlled by Pominville. Back to Spurgeon, and now Pominville starts out for Minnesota. Koivu whips it to Pominville, who carries in, drops to Parise. Parise puts on the brakes, gets it to Granlund, who's entering the zone. Granlund to Pominville, back to the point. Brodin winds and fires. That's wide. Granlund was tangled up with Smith out front of the net. Heavy hit thrown by Pominville along the boards. Scandella works his way to the middle to Brodin. Brodin in, a shot, save, rebound. Parise stopped by Howard. Ronwall around behind the net. Smith has it for Detroit. Into the Minnesota zone. Tipped ahead by Emerton. Granlund back to pick it up for the Wild. Slides it to Brodin behind the net for Minnesota. Brodin to Scandella. Played it ahead on the left wing, but Parise had broken across the ice, and it's driven back in by Kindle. Brodin trying to sneak one along the wall. He lost the puck. Bertuzzi shoved by Brodin. Bertuzzi still gets boos from some of the fans here in St. Paul. Puck bounced right out front of the Minnesota goal. Granlund able to push it ahead for Heatley. Heatley was tied up, and the Red Wings come away with it. Miller plays across to Lashoff. Ryan Lashoff in his own zone. Back to Jakob Kindl, who carries ahead. Mild pressure applied by Heatley as the Red Wings come to center. Nyquist into the Minnesota zone. Managed to avoid Haula and play the puck in. Quincy now holds. Clayton Stoner hustles after it for Minnesota. Charlie Coyle deflects it out to neutral ice. Kemper leaves it behind the net. Gives it to Nate Prosser. Prosser ahead to Haula. And the Wild efficiently out of the zone. Niederreiter dumps it in. Niederreiter and Haula in on the forecheck. Niederreiter wins a puck battle. Pokes it to the corner. It was too far for Cook, but Niederreiter hustles after it. Now Haula behind the net. Haula crisscrosses with Cook. Plays to an open corner. Niederreiter hustles over there. Physical forecheck for Minnesota. Cook, Niederreiter, and Haula. Now Haula heads to the bench.
And Quincy took the brunt of that hit.
Niederreiter centers, and it was just out of the reach of Brodziak. He was breaking uncovered for the Detroit goal.
Niederreiter leaned heavily into Quincy along the wall, and Niederreiter survived that one. Quincy made it to the bench, but not very quickly as another Detroit defenseman takes a beating.
Alfredson into the Minnesota zone. His shot tipped on the way by Legwand. Recovered along the boards by Alfredson. 17 years as Senator. This is first season in Detroit. Franzen back to the point. Cronwall a drive and a save by Kemper. Rebound controlled by Scandella. Got it to Fontaine. He's hit and lost the puck in the neutral zone. Red Wings regain control. Franzen brings it in. Tries to work around Scandella and does. Then hit the side of the net with a shot. Mikko Koivu scoops it up for Minnesota. The Wild's goal scorer carries out to neutral ice. Got it ahead to Molson. Molson fights his way through a check and plays the puck into the corner. Helm back to pick it up for Detroit. Darren Helm carries out of the Detroit zone. Plays across to Smith. Smith has the Red Wings goal on the power play. His centering pass intercepted by Molson, who's dumped, and the puck rolls out and back into the Detroit zone. Smith back to play it for the Wings. Up to the Minnesota line where it's relayed in by Ferraro. Stoner's pass too far for Parise, and this will result in an icing call against Minnesota. A face-off back in the Wild zone with less than a minute remaining.
Well, watch how Niederreiter does a great job of just working the wall, working the puck, but the physical part of this play, Kevin, really cost Quincy at the end of the day.
Yeah, Minnesota guys really physical on the forecheck, and this has been the trend throughout this first period. We've seen some big hits back there in the the D-men for Detroit. We'll see if as the game goes on, like a quarterback that's being hurried in football, that maybe creates some turnovers at the half wall or back at that blue line where you guys have talked about the offense Minnesota is trying to create from the back end. But that physical play on the forecheck can only help this team.
The Wild might be winning a battle of attrition here as they keep winning some physical battles in the offensive zone.
Parisi pushed off the puck but continues to battle along the boards. Granlund swoops in to join the fight. Both Wild players wind up on the ice as a part of a 4-player pileup. Granlund looked like he caught something in the nose. Miller back in his own zone. Watched by Pominville. Quincy has it along the boards. Leaves it behind for Danny DeKeyser. And Quincy sends a long one ahead. Bertuzzi just a hair anxious. And he's in offside.
Well, here's the collision that Granlund was a part of. Look at the legs and sticks and everyone falling a part of that. They're fortunate not to get injured on that one. That's the overall sentiment of this game. Be physical.
Spurgeon throws one toward the goal, tipped by Coyle, but winds up in the corner. Coyle wins a puck battle against Kronwall. Coyle centers, Koivu, saved by Howard on a glorious rebound chance for Mikko Koivu.
Great work by Charlie Coyle, and Mike Yeo wants to see some consistency in his game, and he does a lot of work to get the puck and dig it out. Shot comes in from the point. Now watch Charlie Coyle. He's first to the puck. He's good with the body. He protects the puck, and then he feeds it for the deflection, and then the rebound shot by Koivu. But a lot of the work for this to even occur was created by, first of all, Coyle peeling off of his guy in front after he just deflected it and getting to the corner and working hard to get it to Mikko Koivu, who already has a goal in this game.
Just 5.2 remaining here in the first period. Koivu trying to pull the draw back. He does. Pominville winds up, didn't get all of it. Molson whiffed on the backhand. Pominville then has a shot blocked. A couple of good looks for Minnesota, but they could not get a clean shot away in the closing seconds of the first period. Our Menards game reset. Molson assisted Koivu on a power play goal. Brendan Smith tied it on the power play for Detroit. We'll have a preview of the Big Ten championship game that'll take place here tonight as you check out our CenturyLink link to what's next. And up next, Kevin Gord. We'll chat with the goal scorer, the captain, Mikko Koivu. Wild one, Red Wings one after one.
Getting ready to drop the puck on period number 2 in a 1-1 game. We're joined by Wild assistant coach Darby Hendrickson. Very physical first period. What's the key now to taking control of this hockey game?
Yeah, I think part of it is just being quicker, a little bit quicker to defend in our zone. I don't think we want to be so quick offensively where we're throwing pucks away, but good support there. We did have some good looks, but just a little quicker in all areas. Maybe it's neutral zone. Good puck placement on our forecheck, but they got a few D that are banged up. We want to put pressure on them and really work them in their zone.
Anthony and Mike, up to you.
Thanks, Kevin. Brendan Smith scored on the power play for Detroit. That answered an earlier goal by the Wild captain, Mikko Koivu. Guarantee your tickets to possible Stanley Cup playoff games this spring by placing a deposit on a 2014-2015 ticket plan. It includes 11 game plans, half-season plans, and full-season ticket packages. Visit tickets.wild.com for details.
If there were ever a time to get the puck deep behind defensemen, make them turn all night long to go get them, it's this one here. Wild doing a good job physically in response to some physical play by Detroit as well.
Ryan Suter mentioned that in the pregame show as the key to the game tonight for Minnesota was to make Detroit play in their own zone, force their defensemen back behind their goal line to pick up pucks. Ryan Suter's in. His shot blocked. And the Red Wings able to play it out to center. Spurgeon backpedals for Minnesota. Suter plays it in, and Jimmy Howard has it behind the net. Pestered by Fontaine. He plays to the corner. Molson and Fontaine on the forecheck for the Wild. Centering pass is intercepted, and Franzen has it for Detroit. He banks it off the boards and back into the Minnesota zone. Jared Spurgeon will pick it up for the Wild. Spurgeon sets up behind the Minnesota goal. Been on a great scoring surge since his return from injury. 3 goals, 6 assists for 9 points in 13 games. Granlund into the Detroit zone. Tried to force a pass across to Parisi. That hit escaped, and Bertuzzi's back out of the zone for Detroit. Stumbles and falls. Got it to Kronwall, who, as we mentioned in the first period, returned after limping to the bench early. Parisi deflects it. Granlund scoops it up at center. To Pominville at the Detroit line. Back to Granlund, who was hit and knocked off the puck. Scandella has it for the Wild and blasts it back in. Red Wings started play tonight, number 9 in the Eastern Conference. 1 point behind Columbus in the race for the wild card spot in the East. Toronto would be the number 1 wild card right now. They're 3 points ahead of the Wings. Brodin dumps it in. Lashoff back to pick it up. Prosser fires, and it's held by Howard. Here's a look at the Eastern Conference playoff picture. Boston has clinched a playoff spot. They were the first team to do that. But you can see the tight race for the wild card. Toronto, Columbus, Detroit, and Washington separated by 3 points as the Red Wings try and make it 23 years in a row into the postseason.
And of course you saw the Devils there. They are, I would say, languishing a little bit. They definitely used that extra point wisely the other night against the Wild, but they are in a situation where they really can't have too many errors down the stretch.
No, and with that many teams in front of you, it's a tough task trying to climb in the standings.
You and I were talking the other day just about the fact that now teams are looking up at the Wild and cursing their existence because of the fact that the Wild now are, if they're not winning games, they certainly aren't losing in regulation. And the Wild have 4 extra points here over the last 8 games.
Niederreiter with a heavy hit on Quincy in the corner. Niederreiter comes away with the puck and tried to center. Brodziak in the corner. Protects the puck, then plays down low for Cook. Walks out front, and Niederreiter fanned on an empty net.
You won't get better opportunities than that. It was zipped across fairly rapidly, and that's why Niederreiter really couldn't get his stick on it, but that's where you already have to have your stick in place.
Fontaine. Koivu in on the forecheck for Minnesota. Kronwall is there first for Detroit. Plays it cross ice, and now Legwand's into the Minnesota zone. Legwand fires, and a glove save by Kemper.
Well, Nino Niederreiter trying to find consistency to his game. This goes a long way to doing that. He's had a pretty good game. Good physical play. And it was just shuttled through some bodies, and I don't think he was able to see it until the last second. It actually did have his stick in place. It was just a little bit out of his reach, and boy, that's how close it comes to scoring a goal or having one float by you.
Not going to get many chances that look better than that one.
Yep.
Fontaine ahead to Molson at center. Spurgeon across for Ryan Suter. Another big night in terms of ice time for Suter the other night in New Jersey. 33 minutes and 50 seconds, but I thought most significant about that was that he played more than 8 minutes more than any other player on either team.
When it comes to minutes and Ryan Suter, not a lot shocks me anymore.
Pominville tried to feather one across to Parisi. Granlund has it in the corner. Pominville walks out front. His shot deflects. Granlund can't catch up with it on the far side. Bertuzzi collects the puck and pushes it back for DeKaiser.
But on top of that, that 33 minutes and some change was only the 7th highest this season. I mean, 33 minutes would be career highs for a lot of defensemen. And that was 10 minutes more than he played the previous game, which was his second lowest, or excuse me, his lowest of the season, when he played 23 minutes against the New York Islanders.
Prosser ahead for Heatley at center. Penalty coming here. Charlie Coyle draws the hook. Tatar will go for Detroit, and Minnesota is on the power play.
Another stick infraction by Tatar. Another physical play by Coyle as he continues to press the pace in different areas of the ice. Right here, gets a pass.
21, Detroit hook.
Spun around. Doesn't agree.
Minor penalty.
The young Slovak.
Let's see if the Wild can get some low shots from out high here, guys. See if they get Jimmy Howard down in that butterfly position and then cash in a second look. They've got the right two guys out high, and Suter and Pominville both so smart at finding a shooting lane and that quick release to keep a goaltender off balance.
Koivu scored on the first power play for Minnesota. It's their third consecutive game with a power play goal. He's replaced by Pominville on the draw. Face-off controlled by Minnesota. Suter has it. To Mikko Koivu. Koivu plays to the corner for Parise. Back to Koivu. Koivu to Suter. Suter fake the shot. Looks for a lane. Goes to Koivu for a shot. That was blocked. Koivu jams at the rebound to keep it alive. Parise back to Suter. Suter to Parise. Parise to the middle. His shot deflects wide. Pominville back to the point for Suter. Suter across to Koivu. Koivu to Suter. Suter waits. Goes to Pominville. Molson setting up in the middle. Molson wheels and fires off the end glass. Parise collects the rebound for Minnesota. Finds Koivu at the point. Suter back to Koivu. Winds and fires, and a save by Howard. Rebound picked up by Detroit. And the Red Wings able to get their first clear on this shorthanded situation. Miller sends it in. Koivu back to pick it up. Suter carries to center for Minnesota. Drops to Koivu and then Pominville. Parise just inside the Detroit line. Tried to go all the way across. It's intercepted by DeKeyser and cleared to center. And it deflects back into the Minnesota zone. 50 seconds in the power play. The Wild will change their power play attackers. Kemper's pass too far for Parise. Now Pominville scoops it up into the Detroit zone. Across to Parise. Parise down low. Spins away from DeKeyser and fell. Still got it to Pominville. Heatley taps to the point. Granlund works into the circle. Granlund down low. Parise tried to center. That was broken up. Pominville to Granlund. Centered for Heatley. Intercepted. And the Red Wings come to center. Helm at the Minnesota line. Tries to spin free from Brodin. Helm fires. Saved by Kemper. Puck loose. And Kemper has to snatch it out of the air with a glove.
Looks like it went off of Heatley's skate as he was back checking towards the net. Kemper's been alert on those.
Heatley in on the forecheck. Niederreiter tried to center. Centering pass. Spurgeon whistles one off the end glass. Red Wings are back at full strength. Good zone time for Minnesota. And a few good looks.
To Kevin Gork's point, that shot by Spurgeon was high because he knew that Howard was going to drop into that butterfly, but just a little too high as he floated it over the net.
Niederreiter waiting. Plays to Brodziak. Back to Niederreiter. Now Brodziak in the corner. Brodziak fights off a Quincy check. Gives it to Spurgeon. Spurgeon tried to center. The net is off. And we get a whistle. Minnesota with a couple of good chances on the power play. But nothing doing, and the game remains even at 1.
Mike Babcock on the left. Probably like most coaches, when you look at Zach Parise, the game plan is take away his space. Don't allow him any room in front of the net. Don't allow him any room with the puck. Rough him up. Get your glove in his face. Don't let him have any peace in the game. And that, of course, is a sign of respect for Zach Parise, believe it or not, because it means that they understand he can hurt them. And you can see Parise's questioning the ref every once in a while because he feels a lot of that pressure. Still finds a way to get shots, though.
Tremendous numbers lately. Saw the scoring 18 points in his last 16 games. He's a +7 over his last 11 starts.
And is true to form. Even if he's not getting a goal or an assist in the game, he's still getting lots of shots.
Heatley winds and fires from long range, and it's held by Howard. Tonight's game goes to a shootout, and the Wild win. Bring a printed box score to participating Minnesota Arby's stores and receive a free order of curly fries. The offer is good for tomorrow only if the Wild win in an Arby's shootout tonight. The Wild have had 5 of their last 10 games go to overtime. 4 of the last 7. As Mike mentioned, even though the Wild have lost 5 out of their last 7 games, only 1 has come in regulation. 2, 1, and 4 over that stretch, and they've made it very difficult on the teams chasing them in the Western Conference playoff race. Suter holds for Minnesota. Fontaine couldn't catch up with it along the end wall, and the Red Wings have it. At center ice, Alfredsson across for Smith into the Minnesota zone. Smith stops to Legwand out front. Alfredsson had a whack at it, but it winds up in the netting, and a face-off in the Wild zone.
One thing to keep an eye on here, if the Wild are on the forecheck, Mike Babcock, a couple of different sequences here in the second period, has floated his forward. One of the times, Todd Bertuzzi, guys, was wide open on the Wild blue line. While Minnesota was on the attack and changing defensemen, there's a miscommunication. So they're going to try the old cherry pick play here if Minnesota continues to get that sustained forecheck. And if you're a defenseman in Minnesota, you've got to be aware of that, specifically if you're making a change.
Well, that's a long change period, so there's some other situations for them to keep an eye on. You don't want to get trapped out there, and you don't want to get caught.
Play right now in the Minnesota zone. Sheahan out to the point. Quincy's shot winds up wide. Quincy's stick shattered on the play. Actually, it was the stick of Pominville who blocked the shot.
Pominville with a 7-game point streak coming into this one. And of course, the goal was changed from Parise the other night on the power play in New Jersey, and because it was given to Suter, and rightfully so, they backed it up one more, and Pominville ended up with an assist on that one, extending his streak.
Jason Pominville, 8 points over his last 7. He's scored in all of those games. +3 rating, a part of that explosive top line for the Wild. Has had so much success since they were put together for the 3rd period in Colorado. 42 points in 15 games for that trio. 16 goals and 26 assists. Miller pushed up against the boards by Stoner. Brodziak tried to clear the zone. Bertuzzi intercepts. And a bouncing puck scooped up by Prosser. Prosser's long pass deflected at the Detroit blue line. Niederreiter's in for Minnesota. Niederreiter trying to escape Kronwall behind the net. Got it to Cook for a shot. It's gloved by Howard with a lot of traffic nearby. This week it's a special Sunday night edition of the UFC on Fox Sports 1. With a rematch of one of the best fights of all time, Shogun Wuha battles Dan Henderson. UFC Fight Night is this Sunday at 6 Central on Fox Sports 1. You can also find it streaming on Fox Sports Go. To find Fox Sports 1 on your provider, go to foxsports1.com. Tip shot out front, got through onto Howard. Red Wings clear, icing against Detroit. Will bring a face-off back in the neighborhood of Jimmy Howard, who stopped 16 out of 17 shots so far.
Kevin, as we continue to talk about this top line, I know as a former coach, you probably ran into a situation where you had one line going and had to decide whether you split these guys up to help everybody or keep all the eggs in the one basket.
I've always said if you can put your best players out there together, specifically at home, when you can dictate the matchups, you got to go for it. That's what Mike Gill's doing.
Pominville to Parise, and he pushed it just wide.
To your point right there, you get Parise in front and guys feeding him.
Howard smothers this one, sensing trouble as the Parise-Pominville Granlund trio swarming for Minnesota.
Well, and finally, it looked like Parise was able to break free a little bit. He has been hounded relentlessly. They win the draw, at least possession, but he breaks free from the defender, and look at him. This is He might as well be in a Barca lounger there because he spends a lot of time and a lot of space alone right there, a lot longer than he has all game long, and unfortunately just catches the heel and goes wide.
Pile up at the Minnesota blue line results in a whistle as we approach the halfway point of the second period. Parise's had a number of good looks tonight. And the way that top line's going, you always feel like it's just a matter of time before one of them winds up in the back of the net.
Gotta like the honesty too, and Mike Yeo talks about players being honest. All coaches do. DeBoer talked about Parise being a really honest player, and of course he wasn't speaking literally. He was speaking of a guy who goes out and works hard every night. But Zach Parise knew that puck didn't touch his stick on that goal, and so the actual honesty in him was able to tell our team services guy that, hey, I didn't touch that. You better give that goal to Suter.
I asked Ryan Suter if he had to harass Zach into giving him credit for the goal, and he said, well, he first came over and said, I'm not sure. Coyle fires and it goes wide. Ryan just smiled and said, when you only get about 8 a year, you have to make sure you get credit for every one that you actually earn. Howla in the corner for Coyle. Heatley knocked down in the corner. Howla continues to battle. Heatley trying to help. The Red Wings come away with the puck. Prosser pokes it ahead at center ice. Fontaine and Emerton tangle there. Sheahan able to tip it into the Minnesota zone. Nyquist on the forecheck, but the Wild start back with Stoner. Stoner turned it over at center. Gloved and dropped by Tatar. Prosser plays it off the glass to Fontaine. Kronwall held the zone or played it back in. The Red Wings do retouch, so they're onside. And now Prosser has it. To Stoner. His pass at center. Finds Molson. Molson knocked down as he got it to Prosser. Prosser almost lost it. Fontaine tied up by Legwand, and now Nyquist with it. A lot more play in the neutral zone here in the second period than we saw in the first.
I think Detroit wants to keep this fairly tight hockey game. The Wild need to draw some separation here in this game. The longer Detroit stays in this one, the more confidence they'll have that they can pull points out of this one. And you know that they will go right to the end. They beat the Pittsburgh Penguins last game with 0.4 seconds left in overtime.
Spurgeon. Pass just out of the reach of Granlund, and it'll be icing against the Wild. A face-off coming back in the Minnesota zone.
Spurgeon's been a lot more active lately. Of course, his minutes have gone up because he's partnered with Ryan Suter.
Window Concepts game reset. Both the goals coming in the first period. Koivu for Minnesota. Smith for Detroit. Suter extended his recent scoring streak. Points now in 4 of his last 5 games. Suter to Parise. Tips to Pominville. And Pominville is in offside, so we get a whistle. Wild and the Red Wings even at 1.
Welcome back to downtown St. Paul. Still a 1-1 hockey game here in the second period. We're on the bench with defenseman Jonas Brodin. Both teams right now playing a very structured defensive game. How do you break through and get the lead here?
Yeah, I mean, I think like get the puck deep and just skate down there in their zone there. So, and then do some more shots too, I think.
All right, guys, both teams here trying to stay disciplined and also find a way to get that next goal. Could be pivotal.
Yeah, it's been a tough game to really find open ice, if you will. And both these teams doing a good job defensively. Both goaltenders doing a good job as well. To that end, both goals came on a man advantage in the first period. So there's not a lot of free space out there.
Red Wings have only 2 shots here in the second period. And Kemper covers this one with Miller nearby for the Red Wings. Faceoff will come in the Minnesota zone.
I think given the fact that the Wild have a deeper lineup right now, have a healthier lineup, the longer this goes, the better opportunity they have to have some of their depth come through. certainly don't want to underestimate Detroit, but they have a whole bevy of American Hockey Leaguers in their lineup.
Emerton pushes the puck in behind. Spurgeon battling for the puck with Ferraro. Out to the point. Shot goes wide. Centering pass by Helm comes loose. And a drive from the far point by Kindle is held by Kemper.
A loose puck, and Kemper does a good job of getting his body across. That's what you want to do as a goaltender. You don't want to end up reaching. Look at the push off the post. He never got on his feet. He was on the far right post. He used that right post as an anchor, kicked off of it, got himself to the corner crease. Kevin, that was probably a good angle from where you were.
Great angle, just that quickness that he showed without having to get back on his feet. That's the hybrid style that we've seen the last 4 or 5 years as goaltenders evolve, and you forget how efficient he is because of his size. I mean, he's 6'5", guys, and he moves around that net like a smaller goaltender.
Charlie Coyle hustling after the puck for Minnesota in the offensive zone. Smith watched by Molson, got it to the line. Scandella holds, and a hand pass whistled against Minnesota.
See Koivu's reaction to that. Starting to see some better combinations here between Molson and Koivu. And it does take a little time, even if you have talented players, to find the familiarity. What one player is going to do in what circumstance is not the same thing regardless of talent. Good combination there as a drop pass by Molson on the power play to Suter, who eventually fed Mikko Koivu for the goal.
Molson has 5 points in 8 games since being acquired by the Wild. Coyle along the boards. Coyle, we've seen this a couple of times tonight with Mike Yeo pushing Charlie Coyle back up on this line with Molson and Koivu. Justin Fontaine started the game there, but Coyle's strength along the boards, I think, may have given Mike Yeo reason to give him an opportunity.
Oh, I think so, because it's the complexion of this game is one where you have to have heavy guys playing in a heavy role in the offensive zone, and speed really isn't the factor here in this game. And when Charlie Coyle was physical in that first period, guys like Niederreiter as well, it looks like this is the style of hockey that they're going to have to play, and that's when you start injecting guys like that up into the upward lines.
Miller back through the neutral zone. Glendening able to force the puck in behind. Bertuzzi shovels it out to the point, but nobody home for the Red Wings. As we approach the 15-minute mark of what has been a scoreless second period. Spurgeon plays it back, but it was out of the reach of Parise, who now steals the pass. Fires, saved by Howard. Rebound, a chance for Pominville. And Howard snaps that as well. Good chances for Parise and Pominville. Wild and Red Wings still tied 1-1. Wild and Red Wings tied at 1. Our Chase Western Conference playoff update. The Blues, Blackhawks, and Avalanche look like they'll advance in the Central. San Jose, Anaheim, LA, and the Pacific. The wild card race is tight. The Wild on top by 4 over Phoenix and 8 over Dallas with 12 games remaining.
It'll be a fun ride.
Fun ride. The Wild still have games remaining against Phoenix, Winnipeg, and Vancouver. 3 of the teams chasing them in the playoff race.
Well, they're road heavy here in the next couple of weeks, but home heavy to finish the season. And good competition all the way through.
Miller battling with Brodin in the corner. Scandella picks up the puck for Minnesota. Icing waved off as it was deflected. Pominville and Parise head to the bench on a change, and this will give the Red Wings time to regroup. Franzen has it for Detroit, drops it back in his own zone. Wheatley intercepts and got it to Howlett. Fontaine replacing Coyle on this line. Nifty pass by Suter, got it to Fontaine, waits for Heatley to leave the zone, and the Wild are back in. Eric Haula in on the forecheck. Luxury of having Haula and Coyle both in the lineup on that third line. An extra centerman, so Haula just moves to the middle on this newly paired third line for Minnesota.
Well, Haula has shown the ability to play and be effective in a lot of different circumstances. You got to keep reminding people this is not just his first NHL season, it's his first pro season. I mean, there's a lot of things to learn, and granted, he played 6 games at the end of last year with the Houston Aeros, and then, of course, 5 in the playoffs. But that really is not a lot of experience. He comes into this year as a rookie, and he's done a great job to find himself up with the big club. He has seen different circumstances that the Wild have managed him very well in. He was sent back to during the Olympic break to the Iowa Wild, and he did a great job down there. 9 points in 7 games. And so he kept his head on a swivel there and came right back up at the end.
Penalty coming here against Minnesota, and Detroit will get a power play and a chance to break the tie late in the second period.
Minnesota number 4, 2 minutes, high sticking.
Hasn't been as physical, hasn't been as eventful for the referees here in the second period as it was in the first.
I think both teams got themselves into a circumstance where they knew they had to play some hockey here.
Red Wings scored on the power play in the first period. Legwand with it. Out to the point for Kindle. Kindle takes a return pass to Legwand. Legwand centers. It's tipped. A loose puck picked up by DeKeyser. DeKeyser in the corner. Lost it to Brodziak, who clears but not out. Kindle able to hold. Kindle works free. Kindle to Legwand. Legwand fires, saved by Kemper. Rebound gloved and dropped. Back to the middle for DeKeyser. Trade spots with Tatar. Kindle's shot. Centering pass. Legwand scores. What a feed from Sheahan. And the Red Wings, with their second power play goal of the night, have their first lead of the night.
Nice little passing play by Detroit. Legwand, of course, just fined $5,000 by the league for his butt end on Evgeny Malkin last game. It didn't cost him a suspension, only a few dollars. And he's back in the lineup and fires one home. Looks like he almost fanned on it. It kind of fluttered over the top of his stick, but was enough to hit the underside of Kemper's arm and glove and go into the net. But it certainly didn't look like he got that pure. But it doesn't matter. He put it in the net.
Legwand's second goal since joining the Red Wings. 12th overall this year. A trade deadline acquisition from the Nashville Predators. Granlund fires wide. Brodin scoops it up for Minnesota. Plays to the corner. Pominville tried to center. Granlund was in check. Granlund spins away from Glendening. Takes a shove. Continues to battle. Puck picked up by Pominville along the boards. Pominville knocked down but maintains the puck. Pominville tried to center. Parise was tied up. Scandella holds for Minnesota. Parise has finally escaped Quincy. Now they're back tangled again. Brodin holds his own. Tap to Granlund. And then finally forced out to neutral ice. And all the way down, it'll be icing against the Red Wings. And what has been a long shift for Detroit will continue.
Well, Kevin, when you're down between the benches there, you get a great perspective of speed of the game. And it seems to me like this game slowed down in the second. Is that what you're seeing down there?
Yeah, a lot more room in the neutral zone, I thought, in period number 1 here. And both teams have adjusted and adjusted well as far as their spacing and the gap control you talk about with defensemen, with forwards. And both teams have closed that down and forced a lot of chip-ins, not a lot of flow to the game. And you're going to see a timeout right now by Mike Babcock. Didn't like the fatigue factor with his group out there. They'll get him a little wind right now. Now we'll see if Mike Yeo counters with maybe a little offensive zone faceoff play.
Little gamesmanship by Babcock first. He sent 6 players out there.
Yeah.
Forced the referees to delay it even further before calling his timeout.
Well, they're going to use every trick in the book. And I said the longer this game goes where Detroit feels like they have an opportunity in it, it's going to be interesting. But they got a power play goal. We have now 3 power play goals in this game, but there's not a lot of 5-on-5 play, not a lot of open situations, and this period certainly is indicative of that. Not a ton of shots, not a lot of open opportunities, and as Kevin said, it didn't look like there's as much room out there, as much speed. And that's one thing I talked to Zach Parise about yesterday at practice, and I asked him, when you play against some teams that lock it down a bit, New Jersey's the one that does that a lot, what do you do? I mean, how do you get things going? You say you got to move your feet. You got to force yourself to move your feet, because the one thing that you end up doing is slowing down. You got to get the pucks deep and get moving, and it looks like it's been sort of an atrophy here where they've been slowly getting slower, and that's not the Wild's game. The Wild want to out-pursue a team, and I haven't seen as much pursuit in this second period as we did in the first.
Spurgeon holds his own for Minnesota. Got it to Molson. Into the corner for Coyle. See if the Wild can take advantage of what might be a fatigued Detroit line. They can't, as the Red Wings gain the puck and are able to get it clear. Miller in. Watched by Spurgeon. Suter scoops it up for Minnesota behind the net. Suter pushed it ahead for Coyle. He takes a hit at the Minnesota line. Had to go back into his own zone. And now this will be icing against Minnesota in a face-off in the Wild zone.
Wild definitely have the depth. Mike Yeo has made alterations to lines within this game. He's made alterations to lines throughout the last 5 or 6 games, although he has, as we've talked about, kept that top line intact and out there together.
Legwand to draw against Koivu in the Minnesota zone. Koivu's able to kick it ahead to Molson, and now Charlie Coyle leads a 3-on-3 rush at the Detroit line. Long shot by Coyle, deflects out of play. Face-off coming in the Detroit zone.
Well, Charlie Coyle has seen a lot of different situations. I like him. I like him out there in any capacity. I do like him out there as a center. I just think big, strong centermen in this league can help your team so well. But the fact is that you got to put players throughout the lineup in different circumstances, and so I like him in any capacity, but certainly like when he's in the middle of the ice. Gives him so many more options, so many more puck touches.
It's amazing how much he's moved around this year. Even within this game, he started the game as a center. Now he's on the right wing.
It's great to have those options. Of course, the same options with Haula, to be able to have players that you can mix and match throughout the lineup depending on the circumstance.
Kindle back to pick it up for Detroit. Chased by Heatley. Haula throws a hit along the end boards. Red Wings able to get a clear. Down to 10 seconds left in the period. Spurgeon starts ahead for Minnesota. Finds Granlund. Granlund back to Spurgeon, who was breaking for the net. But it was out of his reach, and this will bring us to the end of the second period. The only goal scored by the Red Wings on the power play.
Now the Wild have to find some magic here. It's a home game. They didn't take advantage of their last homestand, even though they got points out of games. They need some W's here, and this is a good place to get one.
2-1 Detroit after 2. Coming up in our second intermission, we'll look ahead at the Minnesota Twins starting rotation and Kevin Gord with Eric Haula next. Wild trail the Red Wings 2-1 as we get set for the third period here in St. Paul. The Wild early tonight used their blue liners effectively to create offense.
Well, you got to start moving your feet. You got to work hard in that capacity. But as Wes Walz talked about in our pregame show today, if you're getting a lot of things taken away from you down low because of a lot of bodies and a lot of traffic, you got to extend the ice up towards your blue liners. If you do that, then they have to come up and take some of that ice away, and it'll spread things out. It'll give you some options up top and down low. But the Wild in that second period didn't do it, and it cost them 3 power play goals in this game, 2 for Detroit, 1 for the Wild, and they need to start doing something 5-on-5 here to press the play down in the offensive zone.
Wild with a mild advantage, 19-17 in shots on goal. Zach Parise, not surprisingly, with a game-high 4 shots. Red Wings +2 in the face-off circle. 24-22 through the first 2 periods. Charlie Coyle in for Minnesota, taken down by Franzen. And penalty shot for Charlie Coyle and a chance to tie it 15 seconds into the third.
Now Babcock is got a question mark on that one.
Penalty shot award number 3.
So it's going to be Charlie Coyle, who did have a step, and he gets tripped. Now, if he makes contact with the puck, there's likely no penalty, but Charlie Coyle did have a head of steam on that fresh ice. And because of that fresh ice, boy, did he go barreling into Jimmy Howard. But Charlie Coyle is a pretty good shootout artist. See if he's able to convert with a penalty shot.
Charlie Coyle on the penalty shot. He scores! And Minnesota ties it.
What a move. What a move. Charlie Coyle, he really used the fresh ice to his advantage. Because when he puts the brakes on, Jimmy Howard cannot stop. There's no way he's stopping this one. Because his momentum is already pulling him to one side, and Charlie Coyle just takes another little step the other way, Kevin.
That puck was bouncing and rolling the whole time, and really great presence of mind by Coyle to flatten it out in time to make that brilliant move.
And here's the thing, he didn't have the opportunity maybe to shoot it like he might have wanted to, because it was bouncing, and Howard could have gone to school on that. But it was such a good move, maybe it didn't matter.
Suter with a shot. Howard with a save. Trying to smother the rebound, and he gets a whistle even though the puck was never frozen.
It was not. It was briefly in between the ankles of Howard and then poked free, and the referees blew the whistle quickly. But the Wild, and now with some momentum off that play, look at this play here as it's backhanded again. Parise, they're trying to take everything away from, that was Granlund, trying to take everything away from the Wild in front of the net and not really giving them any space. And the Wild is still finding some ways to get some pucks into the net, or towards the net. Howard made a good save there, but I thought a very quick whistle by the referees.
Shot from the point is blocked. Coyle with the goal for Minnesota snaps a 7-game string without a goal for Charlie Coyle. And what's interesting, Mike, the league is only about 28% on penalty shots this year, 18 out of 64. But the Wild have now seen 4 of them, 1 for and 3 against, that have all been successful.
And that was, you have the presence of mind to throw the brakes on and go back against the grain. He knew he had space. He knew he finally had control of the puck. And he makes a great move to his forehand, using the ice and using his time.
Even a minute into the third, after the penalty shot goal by Charlie Coyle. And should note that in case you're just joining us, Coyle started tonight as the center on the third line between Eric Howla and Danny Heatley, but his game was strong early, and Mike Yeo rewarded that by moving him up to the Koivu-Molson line as the right wing. And opening seconds of the third period, it's rewarded with a goal.
Well, he was showing a lot of speed. He's showing a lot of grit as well, but he drew that penalty. He drew that tripping call. for the penalty shot. And we now have 4 special team goals in this game. 3 power play goals and a penalty shot. So it's that type of game.
And another new look line is now Nino Niederreiter takes the spot of Justin Fontaine on this line. So it's Haula with Niederreiter and Heatley. Niederreiter pumped at center. Haula in on the forecheck for Minnesota. Rides Kindle into the boards. Haula digs it loose, trying to get it to Niederreiter, but it deflects up and out of play. And it'll be an offensive zone faceoff for the Wild 90 seconds in.
Mike Babcock, guys to my right, still not happy about that penalty shot call. Listening in on what he had to say to the officials, he did not believe that was a clean break. He kept saying that the player was to the outside, really in a one-on-two situation. Now he's trying to channel that frustration to get his team back fired up. But definitely some coaches today questioning some of these officials' calls, including that most recent penalty shot play.
Well, we know it have at least been a penalty, but a penalty shot usually indicates a player had a stride, and I think he did, even if it was to the outside.
Franzen centers. Alfredsson tied up by Suter. Radziak, Cook, Fontaine. The forward lineup for Minnesota. Cook able to poke the puck into the Red Wing zone. See how the tying goal changes the flow here. The first period was played at a high tempo with physical play. Second period, the game slowed considerably.
A lot of young players in this Detroit lineup, and they're playing a system that is not always easy for young players to play. And to Mike Babcock's credit, he has them playing it, and it was frustrating for the Wild in that second period. But some speed and some push by the Wild has them tied.
Scandella has the puck for Minnesota. 7 out of the 18 skaters that are dressed for Detroit here this afternoon started this season with fewer than 50 games in the NHL.
That's not easy to get a team to play that way when a lot of your guys are kids or young players.
Smith takes it away from Granlund behind the net. Bertuzzi deflects the puck into the Minnesota zone. The Wild will have to go back to retrieve. Clayton Stoner starts out across to Nate Prosser. Molson tips it into the Detroit zone. Quincy couldn't get it by Molson along the wall. DeKeyser plays it in behind for Franzen. Franzen has it poked away by Mikko Koivu. This line, this new look line, has now been responsible for both goals for Minnesota. Koivu on the power play in the first period. Coyle on the penalty shot early here in the third. Franzen in for Detroit. Legwand fires and over the top of the net. Legwand winds up in the slot, but it's deflected and scooped up by Molson. Molson ahead for Minnesota. Looking for Charlie Coyle on the right wing, out of his reach, and DeKeyser's back to pick it up. DeKeyser signed last year by Detroit after finishing his collegiate career at Western Michigan. Played in 11 games at the end of last season for Detroit. 53 this year with the Red Wings. Niederreiter intercepts. Niederreiter fires. Saved by Howard. He hangs on with Heatley nearby.
Very careless there by Detroit. Niederreiter almost made him pay, but someone who did make the Detroit Red Wings pay was Charlie Coyle. Watch. Does he have a full step here? He's got a lot of speed, and he is leaning in. The defenseman left his feet, so you know that if he doesn't make contact with the skate, then in all likelihood, Charlie Coyle is in all alone. He leaves his feet and dives and takes the feet out. That's why the penalty shot was called.
Certainly made the call easier on the official when he left his feet. Haula in the corner. Taken down by Lashoff. Plays it around to Scandella. Brodin pinching from the point. Now works his way back to the middle. Tried to sneak one through to Haula, but it's taken away. And a chance for the Red Wings. 2-on-1. Centering pass, and Brodin got back to get just enough of it to allow Kemper to cover.
This is a panic situation that Brodin doesn't panic in. This can really test the young nerves of a player when you get into this circumstance. Bump it off of a player, and then all of a sudden you have to figure out what you want to do. But instead of chasing the player who's going to get the puck, he split the difference and broke down and tried to take the puck away and at least break the play up or make that pass more difficult. Kevin, you saw that backdoor guy really didn't have much of a look.
No, and what I loved about Brodin's play, guys, is he didn't take the lazy way out and use a stick. He moved his feet to get back into a good position. That's a sign of a young player coming of age.
Saw the numbers on Brodin. Second on the club in time on ice. Second on the team in block shots. Feeder plays it out to center ice. Smith has it there for Detroit. He scored the first goal for the Red Wings tonight. Nyquist into the Minnesota zone. He scores! Beats Kemper clean from the circle, and the Red Wings are back in front 3-2.
Well, this is a talented goal by a guy who is the real deal. Nyquist has 21 goals on the season. And look at this shot right inside the post.
Tough play for Kemper, too, because you track that shooter. You're moving with him from your left to your right, and he waits for the exact right time as Kemper adjusts, and he puts that puck exactly where he needs to, off the far pipe and in. Big goal for the Wings, and they're energized to my right on the bench. There's a lot of noise.
Gustav Nyquist, 21 goals in 45 games now for that young player, and that was a heck of a shot. You still want to get the save on those, obviously, but he put that in a perfect position, right off the post, getting the goaltender going against the grain.
Minnesota finds themselves down a goal for the second time in the game. Marco Scandella behind the net. Pominville deflected off of a skate back into the Minnesota zone. Granlund to Pominville, and it's 3-on-2 for Minnesota. Parisi to Scandella. Scandella fires. Howard steers him aside. Parisi tried to deflect one in off of the Red Wing goaltender, but it wound up just wide. Bertuzzi back for Detroit. Thanks ahead to Legwand. Legwand trying to escape in the Minnesota zone, still with the puck. Plays it across. Franzen with a blast, and a blocker saved by Kemper. Legwand in the circle. Pushed to the outside by Stoner. Smith. Long one. Got through. Save. Rebound. And it's waved off. Immediately waved off. It went in on the rebound, and Franzen gets an explanation, but...
Oh, he's emphatic about it. He is emphatic about it. He waved it off, and so any review on this would have to be a definite...
I wonder if what he's calling is interference on Franzen in the crease.
That's what the Wings are saying to my right, Anthony. They are saying that the original call. Interference.
Franzen doesn't like the explanation. The Wild still down by just one. Our Toyota get caught up. Mikko Koivu on the power play made it 1-0 Minnesota. Brendan Smith tied it on the power play for Detroit. It was 1-1 after one. Second period, another power play goal for the Red Wings. This one by Legwand. Then Charlie Coyle on the penalty shot tied it for the Wild 2-2 early in the third. Just moments ago, Gustav Nyquist beat Darcy Kemper to make it 3-2 Detroit. And Johan Franzen just about made it a 2-goal lead, but it was waved off because of goaltender interference. And you can see right there,
yeah, but that
clearly impedes Kemper.
He does, but he was pushed in there by Scandella. I know he has to make every effort not to be, and that's probably, if the other argument goes in an opposite direction, you could say that Franzen, who's a big, strong guy, really didn't look like he was fighting against being pushed into the goaltender. But I'll tell you what, not a lot of times the call goes the opposite direction when a player pushes another into their own goaltender. And you could see he impeded his progress, but the question is, why did he? So that, whether you want to call it a break for the Wild or whether it was the right call, either way, the Wild still only down by one goal here. Franzen is very well known for his presence around the top of that crease.
And that was the conversation with Mike Babcock and the officials during that commercial timeout. And the officials held strong and said the goaltender could not pivot and make the save, and your player did not make any effort to not get pushed into him, and that's why we made the call. So that distinct argument, you're spot on, Mr. Greenlight.
Puck comes in behind the Minnesota goal. Emerton trying to escape. Pestered by Granlund. The puck hops by to Kaiser and comes out to center ice. Ferraro plays it right back in. Emerton looking behind the net. Got it to Helm. Helm pinned up against the boards on a physical play by Spurgeon. And Granlund has it for the Wild. Parisi trying to hammer one by Smith. Puck bounces in toward Kemper, and he sweeps it over. Spurgeon ahead for Pominville. Pominville in, fires. It was blocked. Pominville has it back. Granlund battling for position up front. Now he's in behind the goal. Played it to the corner, but Parisi had just joined the fight behind the net. And the Red Wings are back with Ferraro at center. Onside at the Minnesota line. Suter sweeps it away. Niederreiter has it for the Wild. Niederreiter for Haula. Haula breaks in, fires. Glove save by Howard. As Niederreiter and Smith introduce each other in front of the Detroit goal.
Now, one thing you'll notice is that they always have three guys back. The Detroit, now that they have this goal lead, look at how that top forward is always back. You don't have a lot of options to move that puck around. That's why that shot came from the outside by Haula. A good shot to take, but keep an eye on the Red Wings. Now that they have a lead, they're playing a little bit more protective.
Haula battles along the boards after winning the faceoff to allow the Wild to keep the offensive zone. But the Red Wings come away with it. Last shot to Nyquist. He sends it all the way across, and Kemper has to make a big pad save. Centering pass, it's loose out front, and Brodin finally has it for the Wild. Big stop for Kemper, keeping the margin at 1. Shane's back in again for Detroit. This time Stoner pinches him up against the boards, and the Wild come back. Haula dumps it in from center. Kindle sets up behind the Detroit goal. Long pass. Sends Glendening into the Minnesota zone. Miller breaks to the net. Bertuzzi fires. Saved by Kemper. Prosser out of the head to Fontaine, and now Matt Cook. Cook to Stoner at center. Stoner flips it softly into the Detroit zone. The Kaiser back to pick it up. Around to the far side, Bertuzzi. And now Miller to DeKaiser, who fires it in from center. Red Wings change, and Matt Cook has it for Minnesota. Wawziak battling along the boards for the Wild. Prosser trying to help out. Franzen sends it back in. These teams will meet again tomorrow night in Detroit. Wild in the midst of a stretch where 8 of 10 are on the road, and the only 2 home games are the front ends of back-to-backs. Fontaine pushes it into the Detroit zone. And now Kronwall has it for the Red Wings. Long pass intercepted at the Minnesota line by Spurgeon. Charlie Coyle's back in for the Wild. Coyle trying to maintain the puck in the corner. Good battle by Coyle. Franzen got it to the line. Coyle sends him to the ice. Turnover, Spurgeon's in! Saved by Howard. Coyle on the rebound. Threw it toward the net. And Howard somehow got the right arm back.
Tremendous save there, and Spurgeon once again, another defenseman, jumping into the play, trying to get it going.
Howard stops the Wild. 3-2 Detroit.
Oh, with a potential tying goal on his stick. Watch this quick shot off the arm. It goes up but gets shuttled to the front of the net, and Koivu can't make contact as it sits just outside that goal line. Jimmy Howard continues to hold his team in there. Wild trying as hard as they can to press.
Howard Howard has been very good in the net for Detroit here this afternoon. Red Wings win the draw. Quincy plays it out to center where Ryan Suter has it. Back in his own zone for Spurgeon. Suter to Molson. And it deflects out of play.
Well, the Wild have had their opportunities. Charlie Coyle with a slight redirect there. Niederreiter with an open net, but can't get it just out of his reach. And Parisi as well with some time in front of the net. Got to put those home.
Wild had a 1-0 lead. Red Wings have led 2-1 and now 3-2. Suter to Parisi into the Detroit zone. Parisi has it knocked away. Good defensive play by DeKeyser. Parisi intercepts the clearing attempt. Suter banks one off the end boards. Granlund on his knees out front of the net. Manages to keep the play alive. Pominville fires, tipped by Parisi. But now intercepted, and Alfredsson's back the other way. Sends it into the Minnesota zone. Suter back to pick it up for the Wild. Granlund takes it away. Suter has it. Headmans for Spurgeon, who flips it into the Detroit zone. Parisi in on the forecheck. Knocked down by Haula, who tried to center. That's intercepted. And the Red Wings are back with Nyquist. Into the Minnesota zone. Kemper plays it to the boards. Smith able to hold the zone. Tatar escapes Heatley along the boards. Nyquist watched by Spurgeon. Nyquist fires. That deflects behind the goal. Sheahan's there. Out to the point. Kronwall winds and fires, and Kemper with a glove save. Our Bud Light What's on Tap. We've talked a little bit about the upcoming schedule for Minnesota at Detroit tomorrow night. And then home Wednesday to face Vancouver, but it's back-to-back as they head to St. Louis the very next night to open a 4-game road trip to take with the Blues in St. Louis.
And it seems like every team has a reason to win. There's not a lot of teams that are all the way out of it this year. The National Hockey League wants it that way, and that's what they've got. They've got a lot of competition up and down the standings.
Inside 8 minutes remaining. Wild find themselves on the short end against the Wings here this afternoon. Kemper knocks it down. Brodin for Minnesota. Goes all the way across ice to Matt Cook. Lashoff back to pick it up. Helm slides it back. And the Red Wings set up behind their goal. Jakob Kindl with it. Stoner back to pick it up for Minnesota in the corner. Koivu jamming at it. Molson in the middle of a battle, and it's fired into the Minnesota zone by DeKeyser. Red Wings passive on the forecheck, playing with a 1-goal lead. Stoner ahead to Koivu. Koivu with Coyle breaking to the net, a shot. Coyle tried to center. That deflects to the corner where Koivu has it. To the point, Prosser. Stoner waits for the carom off the boards. Into the corner for Molson. Molson tied up. And the Red Wings able to carry to center. Miller plays it off the boards, works his way around Prosser. Miller and Stoner go into the corner. Prosser battling in the puck for the puck in the corner. Bertuzzi emerges. Bertuzzi fires. I'm not sure Kemper ever saw it, but he makes the save and hangs on.
Yeah, that was a pure screen, and it was into his gear before he realized that the shot was on its way. Bertuzzi just spun and found a hole, and to his credit, he not only made the save, but he was covering up the rebound as there was some pressure there. The Detroit Red Wings have not placed a lot of pressure offensively in this period. And right now, every time they seem to get the lead, they hang back. And you mentioned it on that last shift. Not a lot of press, not a lot of forecheck.
Guys, the Wild coaches to my left were talking about exactly what Mike Greenley just said. There's 3 players back. We've got to work to get the puck in and work to control the puck on the cycle. They said once you do that, Detroit's collapsing on the net. Our D-men will be open. We will get looks out there, but there's nothing available in the neutral zone. We've got to work hard to get that puck in deep and then work a cycle.
Jared Spurgeon bumped off the puck by Helm in the corner. Smith at the point, winds, fires, and it's deflected by Bertuzzi over the top of the goal. Suter broke his stick on the play. Smith another drive. Haula hustling after a puck. He and Sheahan battle. Haula wins the fight, got the puck to the line. Cronwall shot, pad saved by Kemper. Sheahan hit by Suter, who's lost another stick, 2 of them on the same shift. Beatley trying to force the puck out to neutral ice. He finally does. Haula plays it back into his own zone. Beatley dumps it in for Minnesota. Parisi in on the forecheck. Nyquist has his pass off the mark at center. Parisi relays it in for the Wild. Granlund in on the forecheck. Nyquist starts back. Less than 5 to go here in the third period. Zach Parisi spins out of trouble, hands it back to Brodin in his own zone. And now Scandella with it. Crowd starting to get restless here at home for Minnesota. Granlund into the Detroit zone. Granlund fires. It hit a stick. Granlund pushes a backhander well wide.
I love the way he attacked the middle of the ice there. That's an area that's not easy for the Wild to get through, and he had to make a couple moves, but he got it to the middle.
Suter fires, and that deflects just wide. Franzen clears but not out. Prosser holds his own. Pominville a one-timer, but he whiffed. De Kaiser plays to the boards for Franzen, and Franzen flips it out through neutral ice. Suter ahead to Granlund, trying to catch the Red Wings in a change. Granlund couldn't handle it cleanly, and Detroit's able to clear. Coyle bobbles the puck in his own zone, trying to jump around Miller's check. Spurgeon to Suter, and the Wild are back with Charlie Coyle into the Red Wing zone. Coyle bearing in, knocked away by Smith. Coyle fights off a check, maintains the puck, leaves it behind for Koivu. Koivu tackled by Cronwall. Molson with a shot out front, and Howard got a piece of it. Wild on the power play with a chance to tie when we return.
With a reminder that Wild Live presented by CenturyLink is coming up after the game. We'll talk about Charlie Coyle's great performance today. We'll also hear from head coach Mike Yeo. And then we've got a Dairy Queen instructional as Kevin Gorg and the Stillwater Youth Girls will show you the pass-follow drill. It's all part of our Wild Live postgame show after this, guys.
Charlie Coyle has been a catalyst all game long. Look at this forecheck. He stays with the puck. He's being held up. He stays with it and finally uses his strength to get it down low. And that's where Mikko Koivu also draws the call on Cronwall as he tries to work the puck to the front of the net.
Third power play chance for Minnesota. 1 for 2. Koivu scored on the power play in the first period. And Mikko again removed from the faceoff circle. That's been a theme of the night for Minnesota. Draw controlled by the Wild. Koivu has it. Koivu in the corner. Parisi, Molson up front. Suter and Pominville on the points. Koivu to Suter. Back to Koivu. Koivu plays to Parisi. Tried to center. Deflected. Loose puck. Recovered by Pominville. Pominville fires, looking for a tip by Molson. Just out of his reach. And the Red Wings nearly out of clear. It will come outside the zone. It was deflected into the Detroit bench.
Well, here's where you need your creativity. Pominville trying to get a deflection when it was set back. right out front. Second attempt. Molson misses there. But then Pominville just fires one at the net. He's looking for both Parise and Molson, who are at the front of the net.
91 seconds left in the Minnesota power play. And Koivu again removed from the faceoff circle.
That's been quite a few times in this game.
Pominville wins the draw back to Ryan Suter. Koivu carries in. Fights through a check. Bounces it back out to Suter. Suter plays across to Pominville. Back to Suter. Suter fires and it deflects wide. Parise to Pominville in the corner. Pominville watched by Emerton. Gives it to Koivu. Koivu back to Pominville. To Koivu. Koivu looking for a lane. Centers. Has it back. Koivu to Parise out front. Jamming away and the Red Wings clear.
Some good looks. Parise still bothered in front, but he looks pretty strong out there.
Suter back to Koivu. Pominville's back in the offensive zone. Rings it around for Molson. Molson bobbled it along the boards. Miller clears but not out. Suter holds. Plays it across to Pominville. Kemper to the bench. Minnesota pulls the goaltender. Pominville to Suter. It's a 6-on-4 for the Wild. Suter's pass off the mark for Pominville, and the shot at the empty net goes just wide.
My goodness. An obvious miscommunication there. Both players thought the other was going to take it.
Granlund's pass too far for Heatley. Heatley joins the battle in the corner. Coyle has it for Minnesota. Power play is now over at 6-on-5. Spurgeon had his shot blocked. Empty net for Minnesota, looking for the tying goal. 6-on-5 here in St. Paul. Granlund brings it in. Granlund's long one. Knocked aside by Howard. Out to the point, Suter. Spurgeon centered, and it was deflected. Granlund was uncovered, but Legwand got enough of it to break it up.
Yeah, he took a look at the net. He thought about trying to fire it all the way down, but he elected to just chip it out of the zone safely.
Niederreiter into the Detroit zone. Coyle in on the forecheck. Heatley holds the zone for Minnesota. Try to dump it back down low. Heatley fires. That's blocked, and it sneaks by him and back out the center. Spurgeon plays across. Spurgeon crisscrosses with Brodin. And the Wild attack once more. Brodin to center. Dumps it into the Detroit zone. Koivu in on the forecheck, but the Red Wings clear again. Spurgeon with 20 seconds left. Drives it in for the Wild. Smith is the first man there. He's able to clear. This will be icing. Nope, waved off as the puck checks up. Long pass by Spurgeon, and Parise just couldn't catch it cleanly. Molson in the corner. Koivu wheels and fires. The horn sounds, and the Red Wings beat the Wild here at the XL Energy Center.
Oh, the Red Wings are doing something amazing now. Won 4 of their last 5 games with a lineup that they likely shouldn't be. 10th star of the game, though, Charlie Coyle with a great game. He was a bull out there and scored a goal to tie the game up, but Detroit's Nyquist got the game winner pretty shortly thereafter, and the Wild dropped one that they, by many rights, should have won.
And Jamie, Minnesota will now have to look for a split in this home-and-home series tomorrow night in Detroit.
Thank you, Anthony and Mike. A 10-game point streak on home ice comes to an end for the Minnesota Wild. We'll break it all down next on Wild Live, including talking about Charlie Coyle's strong game, and we'll hear from the head coach.